Predictably so. Lord of the Rings, Rings of Power, pulls out the old faithful. We knew Star Wars were going to do it, and it's hilarious because Star Wars account replied to this Lord of the Rings and Rings of Power doing the same thing. This is a scripted, manufactured narrative that always gets thrown out by these companies because they don't like to respond to people that don't like their stuff. Even if, let me say, I'll set it up saying this is really going to aggravate some of these weirdo leftists because they don't know how to separate the two. Even if the criticism, because it's Lord of the Rings, is based on Tolkien's work and we know who Tolkien was, or rather why he did this and trying to write a, mythology for that geographical area. Even if the criticism is due to, let's say, all the tokenization in the Rings of Power, that does not make it racist, right? Those are two completely different. Even if the criticism is like, well, maybe these characters should not be that race, does not mean that that's a racist statement, period. You could clutch your pearls, go faint on the couch all you want, but you are conflating the two, and you do it purposely because you shield yourself from the criticism, or rather you attempt to shield yourself from the criticism by saying, I'm going to pull out my handy dandy race card. Lord of the Rings on Prime tweets, we cast the Rings of Power, or the cast of Rings of Power, stand together in absolute solidarity and against the relentless racism, threats, harassment, and abuse some of our castmates of color are being subjected to on a daily basis. We refuse to ignore it or tolerate it. They refuse. J.R.R. Tolkien created a world which by definition is multicultural. It has nothing to do with the criticism. A world in which free peoples from different races and cultures join together in fellowship to defeat the forces of evil. Rings of Power reflects that. Our world has never been all white. Fantasy has never been all white. It's kind of white. Middle Earth is not all white. Bisexual POCs, BIPOCs belong in Middle Earth, and they are here to stay. This is my thing, man. I ain't gonna lie. Just considering who made a lot of this what we deem as fantasy, right? In that element, which I think this kind of Lord of the Rings, whatever you want to call that, it's pretty white. It's based on a lot of European stuff. And there's nothing wrong with that, right? I've said this many times before. Africa has its own set of mythology that isn't based on that type of fantasy that you could touch. You just don't, because you're too chicken shit, right? Instead, you take what already exists that the white folk did, right? And they created based upon their own culture, right? And that doesn't mean you can't enjoy it, right? You can easily enjoy it. There's other ways to resonate with these people. Just like they could, enjoy something that is based on African folklore, African mythology. You just, again, too chicken shit to do it. So when someone says, that doesn't seem right, you say, well, it's just fantasy. It's not all white. It's racism. So predictable. Finally, all our love and fellowship go out to the fans supporting us, especially fans of color, who are themselves being attacked simply for existing in this Who is doing that? So wait a minute. Lord of the Rings came out years ago, right? Some people consider it the best movies of all time. And black people were able to enjoy them, right? They were able to enjoy them without any issues, right? I don't remember that racism being this big talk of the town when that was a thing. What are you talking about? Now all of a sudden you put out some new work, and now all of a sudden people that are fans of Tolkien's work or fans of Lord of the Rings that are of color are being attacked? I don't believe you. I don't believe you. I don't believe you. Being attacked for the race, I just don't believe you. I'm sorry. I cannot take their word for that. I think that you need a dragon to slay, and you're just making it up. I'm just gonna be completely honest. We see you, your bravery, and endless creativity. Your cosplays, fan cams, fan art, and insights make this community a richer place and remind us of our purpose. You are valid. You are loved. I don't need you. Why do these people need your stupid ass to acknowledge that? If you need, I don't know, some corporate entity, Lord of the Rings, to like on Prime to acknowledge your existence, you're a loser and you got personal issues that you need to deal with. You are an integral part of the Lord of the Rings family. Thanks for having our backs. They just gaslit everybody. And it's so predictable. The thing that was hilarious, wait a minute, I ain't done. The guys that just did the same thing regarding Riva, where is it at? Hold up. I'm gonna find this. Oh man. All these goofy gifs. But Star Wars, yeah, I don't know where it's at. Star Wars, by the way, replied to it. Like the Star Wars account, which is probably what ran by some green-haired weirdo, responded to it saying something about it's the same thing. Because why? They just pulled the same card with the Obi-Wan stuff. They are so predictable. It's, well, we have black characters. We're going to try to, that we put in there, and it's almost as if they put them there so they can use them as a shield, which is disgusting. They put them there, right, to just hide behind them in the event that they get criticized, and they just sit there and take it. Well, I hate for these fools to see my DMs. I'm just in a better mental space, so I just kind of brush it off, all the jacked up stuff that gets said to me, especially since the launch of the Rippaverse. Boy. I just ain't a bitch. That's the only difference here, is that I ain't a sucker, right? But bros, they're gonna do it again. They're gonna do it again. They did it again. And they're just trying to set up the same narrative. Hey, here's this. And even if we assume that there's one or two people that made a fake account to troll and were racist or something, we know that's not the book, nor is that the primary actual criticism. But that isn't going to stop them from conflating the two. So what they're going to do is say that represents the same, or rather that is the same as those that are just generally critical of what's going on with the Rings of Power and its show or whatever. Not even just with its castings, but what's going on actually in the show. They're going to say that those people are the same people, because they have nothing else. And if you fall for this, well, you a goofball. Yo, I appreciate you as always. And if you're into comics or want to get into them, go visit Rippaverse.com, where you can check out my own comic book company, Rippaverse Publishing. Our first book, ISOM #1, is currently up for pre-order right now. You can also check out the company trailer and the ISOM campaign trailer so that you can make an informed purchase. We've cleared over $3.3 million in sales, and many of our supporters are viewers just like yourselves. And because of that, I have to thank you all personally. I do appreciate you. I can't wait for you to learn more about Isom himself and already fan favorite Yaira. We ship internationally, so no matter what side of the globe you're on, we love to have you as a customer. Much love and big thanks.